With the new film of this opening in theaters tomorrow, let's talk about the series that this film is loosely based on. In this TV log, I am going to talk about the original version of The Fall Guy. This is a Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews TV log. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Doyle, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, and I'm back with another TV log. Today, I'm going to be talking about a show I actually got to see some of recently and what have you. Not all of it, but some of it. Anyway, it's a really, really cool show. Kind of a little underrated, but still a pretty fun show and what have you. And I think it's a good show. And it's actually going to be the title for a new movie that's opening tomorrow in theaters. If you've heard about this new film, which will star Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, then you know what I'm talking about. But I'm actually going to be talking about the show. This is kind of loosely based. Well, the film's loosely based on about a group of stuntmen, one's a stuntman and his partners as they moonlight as bounty hunters. So now, without further ado, I bring to you The Fall Guy. The Fall Guy was an action adventure series that originally premiered on ABC in the fall of 1981. The show was originally produced by Fox along with Glenn Larson Productions. The Fall Guy started on the Alphabet Network on November 4th, 1981. The show stars Lee Majors in the role of the titular character after the network had just recently canceled his hit series, The $6 Million Man, I believe 2 or 3 years prior. Along with Douglas Barr and Hare Thomas, they play Hollywood stunt performers who moonlight as bounty hunters. The show was created by the late great Glenn Larson, who had recently already done shows including, there's lots of them. Let's see. Yes, who recently had created shows like Alias Smith and Jones and Quincy M.E., the Hardy Boys Nancy Drew Mysteries, the original Battlestar Galactica, the cult classic Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and the Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo, BJ and the Bear, and also the original Magnum P.I. Now, of course, and soon he would follow up with Knight Rider, as well as short-lived cult classics like Mammal, Trauma Center, and Auto Man, plus a lot of other series. Anyway, now, of course, this would be his next show after he had done Magnum PI for CBS the previous year. And then the next year, he would work on Knight Rider for NBC. Now, the plot of this show, Lee Majors plays Colt Seavers, a Hollywood stuntman who moonlights as a bounty hunter. He uses his physical skills and knowledge of stunt effects, especially stunts involving cars or his large GMC pickup truck, to capture fugitives and criminals. He is accompanied by his cousin and stuntman in training, Hallie Munson, and occasionally by fellow stuntwoman Jody Banks. Now, the truck was a Wounded Line 1981 GMC K2500 wideside with the Sierra Grande equipment package. Now, a Rounded Line 1980 GMC K25 wideside with the High Sierra equipment package was also used. During the show's initial series, the stunts took their toll on the modified production trucks supplied at low cost to the production by General Motors. So several different years makes Chevy and GMC and models were used during the show's initial run. As a result, some inconsistencies appear in the episodes. Now, from the second season here on, General Motors supplied three specially adapted trucks for the stunt sequences, with the engine moved to a mid chassis position immediately under the cab seat. This meant that these trucks flew further and pitched less in the air, allowing them to be used for multiple takes and shows. So apparently, this was another one of the many shows to have a real cool vehicle, speed, and fly through, like it had been recently been used on other shows, most notably The Dukes of Hazzard. The series' introductions were composed mainly by scenes from this series and from risky stunt scenes of various films predating 1981. The show's theme song was called Unknown Stuntman or The Ballad of the Unknown Stuntman, which of course was sung by the show's star Lee Majors. Yes, very rare for me to hear Lee Majors sing. I never knew he could do that. It was later released as a single by Sky Brothers Records. You can find the full song of that on YouTube, as a matter of fact. Now then, I never did see The Fall Guy as a kid, but well, after it was canceled, I do remember a kid in school actually did have a Fall Guy lunchbox, as a matter of fact, and I couldn't believe it. I had no idea what the Fall Guy was or who it was until years later. Now, during its run, there would also be a board game adaptation based on the show released by Milton Bradley that year in 1981. There was a comic strip adaptation for Look In magazine and a video game adaptation produced by British video game developer Elite Systems in '84. More recently, Universal Pictures has announced the film The Fall Guy, loosely based on this series, starring Ryan Gosling and directed by David Leitch, which is set to hit theaters tomorrow. Now, aside from Lee Majors, we have Douglas Barr playing Howie Munson, who Colt also often refers to as Kid every time. Hare Thomas plays Joey Banks. Now, their first main contact was Samantha Jack, aka Big Jack, played by Joanne Flew, but only in the first season. And then she was replaced by Terry Shannon, well, or Mike, well, or Terry Michaels, for the remainder of the series, except for the fifth and final season, played by Marky Post, who would the late great Marky Post, who of course would later go on to be on the comedy series Night Court. After a total of 5 seasons had come through and a total of 113 overall episodes were produced and aired, The Fall Guy ended its run on May 2nd, 1986. The show did okay for its first season. It managed to make the top 20 for its second and third seasons, but went back into the top 30 half for its fourth run, but finished way low in its final season. Now, the show got released on DVD by Fox in the summer of 2007. But unfortunately, that was the only set we got due to some music issues and what have you. However, the second season did get released in Region 2 in the UK and Germany. Now, I did get to see the first and second seasons on Prime Video last year, but they don't have them anymore. Now but however, you can find some episodes from that second season and some from the third season on YouTube. Unfortunately, they're in PAL format from their showings on, well, ITV4. Yeah, this show did get shown on ITV4, maybe one of the other ITV networks in England. Well, a few years back and what have you, but I don't remember what other things that other types of channels that the Fall Guy has ever run on. But anyway, I really do think this show is so cool and so underrated. This show did have some special guest stars in my view, and I gotta say I enjoyed it for what it had to offer. But anyway, so if you really want to find this series, best of luck and what have you when you if you ever happen to find one. But anyway, let me go ahead and give you a look at some of the characters. Here's a shot of the three big cast members from left to right. There's Howie, in the middle is Colt, and then there's Jody. And here's a look at the big GMC truck that was driven in the show. Pretty cool, huh? Of course, GMC would also make the A-Team van later on. So now you know about the Fall Guy. Oh, but wait a minute. There was something I was going to tell you. I didn't stop to think about mentioning some of the special guests you'll see. There's numerous guest stars in this here series. Well, there's too many to mention, but I can go ahead and give you amongst some of the few that I've seen. Now, its pilot episode, which actually had two parts when it aired in syndication, but there is one episode when it premiered. There was Paul Williams, A. Albert, and special appearances by Farrah Fawcett and James Coburn, who, of course, was actually, well, just unfortunately before she even divorced Majors, as a matter of fact. There were many others. Henry Gibson, who was in the third episode, and Pamela Susan Shoop, after recently appearing in Halloween 2. Robert Wagner had a cameo. There's many people make cameos and what have you. Milton Berle made a cameo, and so did Linda Evans, who of course was now being on was actually be on ABC's hits primetime soap Dynasty. Let's see, Don Ho and Jamie Farr from MASH. Lou Ferrigno, you may know TV's The Incredible Hulk. Oh, the list goes on. There's so many others. I even watched one episode that you can find on YouTube that has one of my favorite country singers, Ray Stevens, which I thought that was pretty cool. He also Lindsay Wagner, who of course played the other big star aside, that recently teamed up with Lee Majors before um, Lindsay Wagner, who played the Bionic Woman. Anyway, The Fall Guy, I definitely really do like this show, and it's really, really awesome. I think this is a show I would recommend you give it a try. Just try to look it up. I wish you the best of luck in finding it, okay? So, anyway, that's all I can tell you about The Fall Guy. I think you will really, really enjoy it. Because it's good, and again, try and listen to the Unknown Stuntman song by Lee Majors. I think you'll really like it if you've never seen the show. It might convince you to watch it. So anyway, that's going to do for this TV log. What did you think of The Fall Guy? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, be a part of the Big B Nation, and help my channel grow and my views as well. And next time I'll be bringing to you a review of Planet of the Apes 2001. So if you like this, check out my TV logs of these other shows that were pretty big with cars and vehicles and what have you. In the upper left hand corner is the episode I did on Knight Rider, the original. The upper right hand corner is the episode I did on the A Team. And the bottom left hand corner is the episode I did on the Dukes of Hazzard earlier this year. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. We'll have another TV log come up sometime down the road. And look for a spoiler-free review of the Fall Guy movie to come up this weekend. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.